This is my Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review for the Beat Blaster Assault Rifle, part of the Boombox weapon set and obtainable from Rad Llamas. At the time I'll be making this video. As always, it's your boy, Salvaje. You guys can use my supporter creator code Salvaje if you guys want to support me. If you guys are going to buy that Mayhem pack in the item shop, use my creator code, please. If you guys are going to buy Borderlands 3, which I'm going to be covering, use my creator code as well. Feel free to do so. So let's get straight into this review, guys, because this thing is actually a pretty decent assault rifle. And I was actually surprised that, the utility that this assault rifle brings to the table when it comes down to the assault rifle category. It has a shotgun crosshair, and I thought it was only going to be good at the short ranges, and that's not the case at all. This thing loses about 50% of its damage at the 5 to 6 tile range from my testing. And something that I also realized since it has a shotgun crosshair, it's really helpful at the short ranges. Like, basically, it just feels really good to use this assault rifle at the short ranges because you don't really have to aim as much. It's really accurate. Other assault rifles, when you use it at the close ranges, they kind of feel a little bit clunky. Like the Wraith assault rifle, in my opinion, at close range isn't really that good, right? I just don't enjoy using it at that range. But this assault rifle is a completely different story. So if you're looking for a medium range / close range hybrid and you don't have the Hemlock assault rifle, this Beat Blaster is pretty good. It has piercing bullets. And I just want to point out, it will trigger propane. So if you have the husk funneled up specifically at the endgame levels of play, do not, and I repeat, do not shoot this thing through multiple husks and trigger a propane tank. Do not shoot this thing through a trap tunnel, because chances are that you might be able to trigger a propane. If you know that there aren't any propanes on the trap tunnel or anywhere near it, feel free to do so. I'm just doing my part in Save the World community and just pointing out some of the things that you might not want to do with this assault rifle because it might hurt the mission objective. So that's what I have to say when it comes down to the utility that this weapon brings into the table. It also has the dancing ability, which every time that you stagger a husk, they're going to start dancing. And it's not just one husk, it's also the husk within a specific range. And from my testing, I've noticed that it's usually a 1 tile range. If you make a husk stagger, all of the other husks in a 1 tile range are also going to start dancing. So that's really cool. You can have a perk that is going to do extra damage to dancing enemies. That is also going to be really helpful. I want to point out also, since this thing is a 2-round burst, you can actually hold down the trigger and the weapon will continue to fire. So that's actually not that bad as well. So far you guys think, wow, this Beat Blaster is great. I should probably level it up, right? I should probably fill it with legendary perks, Salvaje. But that's the thing. I like to give objective reviews when it comes down to my weapons. And while I was testing this weapon out with heroes that can make the weapon better, like First Shot Rio, for example, on Light Show Spitfire in the support slot that's going to increase the magazine size of this assault rifle, I noticed that, when I wasn't catering to this weapon, this assault rifle sort of felt a little bit wonky. It sort of felt as if it wasn't performing as well as it did when you had a loadout that actually catered to it. And you guys know me, right? When I'm going to review a weapon, I want to see how the weapon is overall, not just how the weapon is when you have a loadout that caters to the weapon. I noticed that this thing has 2 massive weaknesses if you're not catering to this assault rifle when it comes down to your loadout. The fire rate can be a little bit slow, which means that you're going to, miss out on some potential DPS. The reload speed is also really low unless you have a reload speed perk on it. And even though I have my reload speed perk on purple, I felt like the reload speed held back this assault rifle. The magazine size for this thing is super small, okay? Like really small. You know what is also really small? The amount of likes that this video has, which is why you should drop the video a like, okay? Anyways, long story short, those 3 weaknesses, the fire rate, reload speed, and the magazine size, is just something that you sort of need to kind of cater it. Otherwise, the assault rifle isn't going to be super effective, right? When it came down to the recommended perks, I just went with an overall damage build. Damage to dancing enemies, reload speed, headshot damage, and damage. And here's why. Because if I were to go for a critical rating, critical damage build, that means that I'm going to have a slow rate of fire, and that means I'm going to have also a pretty big magazine, because I could put a magazine size perk on this thing. But then I'm going to have a really slow reload speed, right? Or actually, no. I'm going to have the reload speed, but I'm still going to have a low magazine size, right? Because the top perk, that's where you put the magazine size, and I believe critical damage is on the top part of the perk. Long story short, a crit rating, crit damage roll with this assault rifle is a bad idea. I think if you want to use this assault rifle perfectly, you should go for an overall damage build like mine. Honestly, I don't even think the damage to dancing enemies is actually worth it also. That's something that I realized from my testing as well. You know, it's better if you put an extra damage perk on it, or maybe you want to put a critical rating on it, right? So slap a critical rating, put it all the way up to legendary, and go for like, you know, a build like put tactical assault sledgehammer on that primary slot, put light show spitfire on that support slot. I'm getting a little bit too advanced, so my beginner players might be a little bit you know, lost. And basically I'm just talking about heroes that are going to help out this assault rifle. Increase the magazine size, for example, increase the critical damage that the assault rifle is going to bring to the table, etc., right? The point that I'm trying to make is that if you cater to this assault rifle can be a great assault rifle, but it's not a top tier assault rifle. And the reason for that is because if you cater towards the pain train and the wraith assault rifle, you're going to get god tier level damage. But if you don't cater towards the wraith or the pain train, you're still going to get great reliable damage. So that's why when it comes down to the star rating for the Bead Blaster, it's going to be a 3 out of 5 stars. It's just an average assault rifle. It lacks consistency in important areas. Like, it needs a magazine size, you know, it needs magazine size support, it needs a reload speed support. Otherwise, the assault rifle isn't going to be able to perform at really high levels of consistency like all of the other top tier assault rifles that we have currently in Fortnite Save the World, right? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Feel free to drop it a like, feel free to subscribe. I will be reviewing the weapons and the heroes and all that stuff, guys, but I'm not gonna rush it, right? I'm just gonna take things slow. No need to rush out the reviews. As you guys know me, I want to focus on that quality, and if you appreciate quality, you should definitely subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.